Namaste, everybody. My name is Anika, and I'm going to be guiding you for the next 60 minutes of Shiva Shakti Flow. Hindu deities have a lot of different depictions and also levels and qualities of awareness that interplay, and they're quite complex. And because of this, there's many different interpretations. And I just want you to keep that in mind as we go through this class, exploring particular qualities of Shiva and Shakti that I connect to and feel that I can share with you and in some way speak from. When I was researching Shiva and Shakti quite a while ago, the most touching thing I read about Shiva was the interpretation that he is the I before the I am. This primordial stillness of pure consciousness, free of any and all form, and utter simplicity. And I feel that this is the seed from which all other masculine energy flowers, this directness, this clarity, this simplicity, and such a beauty in that. And Shakti is a way for Shiva to experience himself or even simply itself. And she is form, creation, life, diversity, and expansion and creativity. And throughout the class, we're going to be exploring the dance of these two primordial qualities within our bodies and within our environment. Before Shakti was the first sound, which is Om, and from this vibration, the rest of form soon followed. So before we chant, we're going to open with one Om altogether. You can start by closing your eyes, lengthening your spine, and softening your root into the mat. Your hands can rest wherever they like. And we'll begin with a cleansing exhale. Breathe in together. And through the mouth. Breathe in for Om. As the sound, the vibration finishes, allow your awareness to deepen into the quietude that comes before and after the sound. This eternal stillness and rest which is always available within us. Shiva. And our mantra for today is going to be Soham. If he is the I before the I am, then Shakti is that which allows us to say, I am that. I recognize where I am from. And that is the meaning of Soham. I am this primordial quietude, and I am the life that runs through all. Repeat after me. Soham, 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 and all together. Soham, 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 hum, so 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 hum. Last one. So hum, so hum, so hum, so hum. 3 more times silently. So hum, I am that within me and within you. Let's move on to hands and knees as we begin to wake up our spines, moving from stillness into these first touches of life. Start by finding your breath. Inhale and exhale. As you breathe, allow every part of you that's touching the mat to expand out and into the floor beneath it. From these roots, allow your awareness to draw upward, grounding you into your whole body as you embrace these qualities of earth in the whole of your form. And then on your next inhale, allow your body to move in synchronicity with the breath, the expansion of the inhale following the expansion of your chest, the lifting of your gaze and of your tailbone or your root. Exhale, draw your nose and navel towards one another, rounding your spine. Inhale, lengthen, expand. Exhale, draw back in. Inhale, breathing in life, creative force, and vibrancy. And as you exhale, let go, and let go into quietude. This time as you inhale, find stillness once again. Resting here as the only movement now is the natural flow of your breath, the blood through your veins, and the subtle subatomic vibration of your cells. And then you can soften your sit bones down to your heels. And if kneeling is uncomfortable for you, you're also welcome to sweep your legs out in front of you and come into a cross-legged position. You're welcome to lift your hips on a block or on a folded blanket to help tilt your pelvis forward and lengthen your spine. We're going to begin awakening a little more with Jai Kriya, but a slight variation. So Shiva energy is, in tantric tradition, a vertical energy, linear. And Shakti is expansion. And I picture this almost like a flower's stem, the foundation, and then this outward expansion of give and receive and fragrance and beauty for all to be seen. So as we inhale, we reach up, opening the flower petals of our palms. And as we exhale, we draw our fists in and elbows back. Next time we inhale, we reach out, this time horizontal, and exhale in. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale to the sides, exhale in. If you're pregnant, menstruating, or you have high blood pressure, a headache, or a head cold, I'd love for you to take this movement in slow motion with just the natural rhythm of your breath, or simply meditate on relaxing your abdomen and allowing the breath to fill and release there. If you are oscillating, so breathing percussively, maybe a little faster, or maybe you begin to slow down for these last few breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, exhale. Release your hands to your knees and find this foundation of stillness within the expressive or excited energy that may be buzzing in your body now. This time, as we come onto hands and knees, we're going to slightly widen the knees apart and rest the hips down onto the heels. You can walk your hands forward in front of you and touch your forehead to the mat. This posture of Vajra Yoga Mudrasan, or child's pose, is a beautiful expression of Shiva and Shakti, as Ajna, the energy center of the third eye, something that he's often depicted with in art, is connecting with the mat, so it's stimulated through the pressure. And the general grounding of having your whole body so close to the earth is like the grounding into form, which is only possible through Shakti. One Brahmari breath, touching the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, directing more energy and vibration into the third eye. Breathe in. And exhale, humming bee breath. Now, I welcome you to draw your knees closer together if this works for your body type. Otherwise, you can keep them spread. And draw your palms face up beside your hips, entering an expression of child's pose, which now represents a seed. I like to think of this as the first seed of creation, or perhaps the seed of stillness from which creation was able to be born. And as we inhale, reaching the arms forward and up, rising up onto our knees, expanding the heart in the arms as if we are blooming into life and form. As you exhale, sweep your arms in front of you, and palms can rest face up beside you as you return to child's pose. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Allowing your breath and your body now to move at their own pace. Feel free to take any creative variation of the arm movements, of the heart opening that feels good for you, as well as variations of the positioning of your body as you enter child's pose. If at any point in the class what I am asking you to do with your body or your awareness doesn't resonate, then you are entirely welcome to do your own thing, to listen and explore what feels true and whole for you. The next time you exhale, you can remain here in child's pose for a breath as we all reunite in this sameness of posture. And on your next inhale, you can come back up onto hands and knees, tabletop. And exhale to tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back into Parvitasan or mountain pose. Here, I want to invite you to tilt your pelvis in a way that your hips rise towards the ceiling and your low belly moves towards your upper thighs. You can almost imagine that the area where your hips connect with your torso is like a wheel. And there's this spinning or circular motion expressed through your spine, your low spine. Feel free here to bend your knees a little deeper if you feel that your back is rounded rather than long. You can also play around with pedaling one heel and then the other towards the mat. See if you can spread your toes and fingers wide apart here and really ground through the mounds of all of your toes
and of your fingers. On your next inhale, lift your right foot up towards the ceiling, and we'll stay here for a breath, pointing the right toes towards the ground, rotating the right thigh inwards so that your hips remain squared. On your next exhale, you can draw your knee towards your nose and plant your right foot down to the mat. Stay here with tented fingertips, and if you would like a more gentle and supported version of the posture, drop your left knee down to the mat, perhaps folding the mat over for more padding or using the support of a blanket. If you would like to become more active, keep your left heel and knee lifted. Then we're going to rise up with our hands resting on our right upper thigh. As we draw our tailbone in, right hip back, left hip forward. Roll the shoulders down and back, lift the heart, and slightly draw the chin in. Spine long as can be from tailbone up and out through the crown of the head. Now, symbolic of the unification of polarities, masculine and feminine, creation and pre-creation, we're going to bring the palms of our hands together at our heart center. Rest your left elbow down on top of your right thigh, using this pressure to draw your heart towards your hands as they press together. I invite space between the shoulders and the ears, and you want to continue this motion of tucking the tailbone and drawing the hips so that they're next to one another. It is said that the heart center is the bridge between higher and lower energy centers. For me, this also means from the cosmos, or from this stillness and spaciousness, into form, into being here in life, in a body, in a world with so much density. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhale slowly and mindfully. Bring our hands back down to the mat and return to mountain pose. Once again, pedaling out the heels, perhaps exploring a slight flooding of the energy moving through the linear shape of your right leg now. And if it's bent, that's also welcome. Let's inhale to raise our left foot up. Once again, taking a breath here as our toes point towards the ground. Left thigh rotates in. And on our next exhale, we'll step forward. If you drop your knee on the other side, it's good for balance to take the same variation, but you're also welcome to do something else if this feels better for you. Inhale, bring both hands to the top of your left thigh. Tuck your tailbone, draw left hip back as right hip comes forward. Expand through the center of your heart and allow that expansion to move into expression, creating space between the fronts of the shoulders. Palms meet once again in Namaskar Mudra, and we twist, bringing right elbow to the top of the left thigh. You're welcome to look straight to the side, down at the ground, or up towards the ceiling for a little more of a balance challenge. Spinal twisting is super detoxifying and cleansing. The massage of the compression of your digestive organs will also help stimulate more movement and more processing here. Last breath. Inhale from toes to crown and back down again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. And step back into mountain pose. Or you can come into child's pose if you would like more of a rest. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, or walk your feet forward.
coming to bow in Uttanasana or standing forward fold. Allow the crown of your head to weigh down towards the earth as you rise up towards the sky through your hips. The invitation here and throughout the rest of the duration of the class is to keep your eyes closed as much as possible. This invites introspection and also interoception, this feeling of the inside of your body, and perhaps an even subtler and more delicate feeling into your subtle body and even what lies beyond that. Inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine, tailbone and crown drawing away from one another. Continue breathing here as you round your shoulders back, allowing the bases of the shoulder blades to draw together as the fronts and tops of the shoulders draw apart. And then we exhale, allowing the spine to round and soften. Inhale, bend your knees and reach forward and up as we come to standing. Perhaps a gentle upper back bend as the thumbs point behind us. And exhale, enjoy Namaskar Mudra again. Let's take a moment as we ground in Uttkatasan with our feet about 1 to 2 inches apart. We can rotate the thighs away from one another, enjoying this subtle spiraling motion that rises all the way up into our hips. Allow the tailbone to be heavy, drawing down, as well as the feet melting down. And the upper body becomes light, expansive, more and more magnetized towards the sky. Allow awareness to soften at the crown of the head, the center of the forehead, and the center of the throat. Inhale, reach up, as if to embrace this cosmic, subtle consciousness. And as we exhale, we are bowing down to the beauty of form. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant both hands on the mat and step, hop, or walk back into upper push-up. Let's stay here for a few breaths, dropping the knees if this feels better for you. We want to stack the shoulders and elbows above the wrists and energetically spiral the hands away from one another. This will create that spiraling motion where the backs of the shoulder blades or the bases draw together. Draw your pubic bone in and up towards the base of your ribs so that your tailbone becomes long, and press your heels out behind you. Slightly tuck the chin so that once again the whole spine is long. Then we want to activate Ujjayi breath, this deep ocean sounding breath, building heat in our energy as we build heat in our bodies. It sounds like this. Together, an Ujjayi inhale. Exhale, lower knees if they weren't already. Chest and chin down to the mat, elbows hugging your ribs. Inhale, up into Bhujangasan or Cobra. And we'll stay here again for a little bit. You're actually welcome to bring your ribs right down to the mat so that you're just lifting through the top of your chest and the base of your throat. Cobra is another posture where we can connect to Shiva in a more form-like depiction of him, where he's often represented with a cobra coiled around him. Ask within, what is the essence of Cobra? What does this quality feel like its form is an expression of? And what does that do within you? Breathe life into this serpentine beauty. And exhale, Press the center of the forehead down to the mat. Inhale, lift your heart, engage your core, and press through the balls of your feet as you lift through the center, up and back into mountain pose. One breath here, in and up through your hands, and then release down through the soles of your feet. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, or walk forward, returning to standing forward fold. A breath here into the shoulders and the upper back. And then another breath, inhaling to half lift or tabletop. Exhale down. Inhale, rise to standing. Exhale to Namaskar Mudra. Inhale, bring your weight into your left foot and begin to lift your right foot up off the mat. We want to gather everything into center, into your pelvic floor, and up from here, engaging Mula Bandha. Lift the right heel up as the gaze lifts, as the heart lifts, as space draws between the fronts of the shoulders. And then perhaps we can reach our arms out to the side or out behind us for angel pose. I love the expression of angels as they are like a heavenly form, this etheric consciousness that's also expressed through Shakti. Exhale, bring your right foot down to the mat, perhaps heel-toeing it a little further back or a little closer to your front foot. Soften into your left leg, drawing your left knee out to the side as you square your hips towards the long side of the mat. Once again, gather in and up, and either bring your hands to your hips, to your heart, or out to the sides for Mahavirabhadrasana or Warrior Two. Option 2, continue gazing out to the side or to gaze beyond your left fingertips. Bring awareness into the whole of your foot, and especially the parts of your foot that are touching the ground. Allow the quality of consciousness here to spread throughout the whole of your body. Through your face, your eyes. Inhale, straighten your left leg. And if you have a block within reach, you're welcome to plant it on the inside of your left foot. Otherwise, we'll all just bring our right hip back as the left side of the chest leans forward. Then we want to raise the right hand either up to the ceiling or bring it to your hip for Trikonasan, triangle pose. The goal here is not to have your hand as close to the ground as possible, but rather the formation of straight lines along almost like a two-dimensional plane. So this means that our torso is lined up directly over top of our left leg, rather than leaning forward or back. Lengthen through the top of the head and the base of the spine. Tuck your chin slightly in and perhaps look up towards your right hand for one more breath. Inhale, rise to standing. Exhale, bend into your left leg and step forward. Enjoying stillness in Uttanasana for a breath. Then shift your weight into your right foot, lifting your left heel up off the ground. And if this is too difficult, or it just doesn't feel nice today, you can always keep your left toe still connected to the mat for more support. Most importantly here is to engage the glutes and keep your hips squared with one another. Having the engagement here in these muscles of fundamental support, we are able to lengthen and expand through the rest of the body more easily. Perhaps this quality of length and expansion now moves into your hands as they reach out to the side, opening the heart center further, or they could reach behind you. One more breath here. Exhale, bend your left foot, right knee as the left foot lands behind you. Draw slightly outward through the right knee so that it doesn't collapse in towards center. Gather this power in and up through your feet, through the base of your torso, and allow that to be expressed in your hands, whether that expression is one of nurture and tenderness, of this union of polarities, or of expansion and reaching always towards more, never settling or becoming complacent, but always awareness in a state of becoming deeper or higher. In this expression of nobility, warrior pose, perhaps invite within a listening for what is a warrior truly, the purest or most profound form of what this essence means. One more Ujjayi breath here. Exhale to straighten your right leg. And once again, use a block if you like. As we begin to lengthen the arms, draw the left hip back, reach forward and down as the left arm rises up or comes to your hip. So many different ways to form triangles with our body. The reason I chose this posture today is the angular qualities of it remind me of a prism. And this prism is what I feel the purpose of Shakti is. Form in order to refract or express that which was previously unseen. The way that the subtlety of light can move through a prism to form a rainbow. When the prism is cloudy, confused, when we're dense and caught up in ourselves, we cannot cleanly reflect pure consciousness. We cannot allow it to express through our forms. The purpose of this practice is to clean our bodies and our minds, allowing us to beautifully reflect and express the pure consciousness that we come from. Allow this next breath to sweep through your whole body, filling it with light, with cleanliness, and your exhale a releasing of all which may block or cloud that luminosity from appearing. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, you might heel toe your left foot a little bit in, or just step forward with your left foot to meet your right. One breath in Namaskar Mudra, softening into your heart and the essence of that in your hands. Let's now bring our weight into our left foot and grab a block if you have one available. This time, let's bring our block usually on the highest height, but it could be at any height, about 2 feet in front of your left foot. Once again, reach forward, returning for a moment into Trikonasan, perhaps. And then we're going to begin leaning forward. Reach your left hand towards the block as your right heel rises up off the mat. If it's too challenging for you to balance here with all of our limbs very extended, you can bring things a little bit more into center by bringing your right hand to your right hip. And you might even just want to keep your hips squared more towards the ground. This will bring more weight into your left hand. But for the full expression of balancing half moon, we want to flex the heel, spread the right fingers wide, reach up and reach out. I love the expansive quality of this posture. As Shakti, our actual physical universe is always in a state of expansion, multiplying and building more and more. But allow all of this expansion in your body to come from a rooted center, a place of wholeness. And for me, when I focus on my center here, it's at the base of my pelvis, like a ball of light that reaches out into all of my limbs. One more inhale. And let's exhale, bring the right foot down. And let's shake our hips out, letting everything jiggle and soften a little bit. The breath becoming soft, the face becoming soft, and stillness. Simply feel into your body what is available here and now. This is a question that we can always ask ourselves. And from this place of stillness, sweet listening within, we're going to bring our weight to our right foot and shift our block to about 2 feet in front of our right foot. Then for a moment into Trikonasan, reaching your arms out, your left hip out, and from there, weight enters the right foot and perhaps the right hand as it connects with the block. Expand down through wherever you're grounded and extend and expand up and out through wherever you are lifted. Once again, lengthen through the spine and explore if you can connect to this spherical quality at the base of your pelvis. Muladhara, your root energy center, the one that is responsible for your body being a landing pad for your awareness, pure awareness, to be here in form. One more breath, reaching out and up a little more. And as we exhale, melt. Both feet once again finding the mat. This time feel free to perhaps shake your knees, or almost like pedaling the knees, but really fast and really loose. And then maybe shake out the ankles a little bit. It's so healthy to move through stagnancy this way, just by letting everything shake out. And then maybe wiggle the arms a little bit and the shoulders. And then stillness. Simply being available to feel, witness, receive, and hold whatever is expressing, moving in your body and in the field of your awareness right now. Allow the most delicate quality that you are currently connecting into to come out through your face, especially your mouth and your eyes. You can open your eyes or keep them closed actually. As we bend the knees, reach the hands forward and begin to sink the hips down. Few options as we enter Utkatasan. Option 1 is to squeeze a block between your thighs. Option 2 is to reach your arms up. And as you do this, you want to extend through your fingertips very actively as you extend down through the base of your spine. And this will ensure that your spine is long. And it's a beautiful way to get your whole body involved in these connections, illuminating your body map and allowing you as awareness to become more connected with the vessel that you live in. Or palms together at heart center for this last breath. And as we exhale, you can either just continue sinking your hips down until they find the mat, or you can reach forward and bring your hands down as you come to kneel. Either way, the end goal is to have our legs swept out in front of us with the soles of our feet touching. Parvatiasana, divine feminine pose. Of course, we must call her in for this class. And we want to create this circular motion again with our hips where we're tilting our pelvis forward as the base of our spine is coming out and energetically almost up and back in. So we're going to allow this quality of the wheel to be what expresses in this pose. Close your eyes and allow yourself to melt into the space between your thighs. The energy center responsible for sensuality is what's likely to light up here. And this is Svadhisthana, located around the bowl of your hips, your low belly, or the reproductive organs. The 5 senses are the way that Shiva is able to recognize himself as he is expressed in form. This fundamental truth underlying all perceived polarities. And Shakti is she who created the senses. So let's allow ourselves to relish in all that's available to the senses right now, savoring the sensuality of eyes, even if they're closed and only seeing black, of our nose, our ability to smell, whether or not we are smelling something pleasant or unpleasant. Taste, whatever taste is in the mouth. The taste of the air on your tongue as you breathe. And sound. And explore perhaps if you can go beneath all of the sounds that you are hearing, things you are seeing, smelling, and tasting, to the seeds from which these senses arose. What does hearing, smelling, tasting, seeing, feeling, what are all of these like beyond your body and beyond form? The space between the lines is still filled with a quiet, vibrational expression of all of these. Let this last exhale be even softer, releasing even more. And as you inhale, you can slowly rise back up to sitting, spine long, and draw your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a big hug. Then you can inhale, and this time we're going to fold the legs on top of one another. So your left knee is pointing forward and your right knee is stacked on top of it for Gomukhsan or cow face pose. In this posture, I find that there is a lot of sensation in what feels like the core of the hips or the glutes. And this is also where a lot of our ancestral patterning is stored. So all of these qualities of form and creation, which are cloudy and dense and don't perhaps allow pure consciousness to shine through them if they are what's being identified with. So as we begin to perhaps walk our hands forward and soften through the heart, we can allow the breath to soften through any qualities of hardness, tension in the area of the hips. And this posture can be quite a deep stretch. So actually, if you like, you can even bring your hips up onto a block or a book or a folded blanket or a folded mat just for a little bit more elevation. And this will help the spine stay long here. One more sensual breath here. And then we will plant the right foot down on the mat and bring our left arm to wrap around the right knee. This will invite the chest towards the knee, or perhaps the side of the chest as we begin to twist towards the right side. Rather than leaning back into our right hand here, the invitation is to see if your whole spine can be straight up from the base of your spine and only twisting laterally. If it's too strong for your gaze to be over your right shoulder, you can always look just straight out to the side or even forward to change things up a little bit. Allow your breath to expand your rib cage, soften your belly, and maybe even create space between the vertebra of your spine as it grows longer and taller. As you exhale, become soft from the center of your body out through to your skin. Inhale for one breath of counter twist. And then sweep your legs out in front of you and change the cross so that your right knee points forward, left knee is stacked over top. And I would invite the use of whatever props you brought into this posture in its last expression on the other side. Let's start by just lifting up through the top of the head and relaxing and becoming heavy through the low body. And from this space, we may begin to tilt the pelvis forward, allowing the low belly to come towards the tops of the thighs. Inhale, begin to walk your hands towards your body and plant the sole of your left foot, on the mat, wrapping your right arm around your left knee, lifting up and twisting. Allow your breath to bring this fundamental quality of expansion, creation, and release into emptiness to be replicated through your cells. Whatever this quietly means to you. Perhaps now the breath is moving up and down along the whole of your spine and beyond, from beneath your root to above your crown, following this linear or Shivaic energy channel up and down. And then we will counter twist to the other side for breath. And straighten the legs out in front of us. This time just allowing the legs to waggle side to side, and then maybe pedaling the knees against the ground. And we will inhale to lift the feet up, maybe bringing the knees in towards the chest and bringing the hands to the backs of the knees, or keeping your legs straight and your arms reaching out, palms face up. Allow the support here to come from the lowest parts of your torso and the highest parts of your legs, expressing out into the extremities. Rising up through your toes or your shins if your feet or your legs are at the same height, and up through the top of your head for Navasana or boat pose. Last inhale here. And as we exhale, keeping the core engaged, let's try lowering our heels and our shoulders at the same time. Draw the knees in towards the chest. And inhale here with the back of your head and your shoulders touching the ground. So you exhale, bring everything back in towards center, forehead towards the knees. Inhale, soften back down. Exhale, contract, squeezing your whole body here. Inhale, let everything soften into the expansion. And exhale, we are actively letting go. Inhale, back of the head returns to the ground, and you can bring the soles of your feet to the ground. So here, one option for a more restorative Ardha Setu Meditative or little bridge is you can bring your hips to rest on a block or a bolster or a pillow, or maybe even some books if you'd like to try that. Or you can stay more active and begin squeezing your glutes, drawing the heels of your feet in towards your body energetically. Press the tops of your hands and your shoulders into the mat. And lift up, not through your low belly, but actually through your coccyx. So the very base of your spine. If you are not using a block to rest your hips on, you might bring the block between your thighs, as this engagement can be helpful for finding our alignment, as often the tendency is to splay the knees apart, and this isn't as healthy an expression of the posture as it is to keep them lined up in front of the hips. One more inhale here, wherever you're at. And we can exhale, drop the hips to the ground. If you were already enjoying a restorative version of a half bridge, then I also invite you just to simply lift your legs up towards the ceiling and stay resting here as you allow all of the blood flow and excess energy to return to the heart. Or for a little bit more engagement, we're going to fire up the core by flexing the feet and allowing the right foot to come down towards the floor or towards right hand. Here we want to stay focused on keeping the left hip and the left shoulder grounded. As you inhale, this is where the real challenge is. We're going to gather everything in through center and lift the right foot back up to meet the left. As you exhale, the left foot can come back down as you keep the right hip and shoulder grounded. Inhale, squeeze the glutes, squeeze your low abdomen as your left foot comes up. Exhale, how far can both of them go down to the sides? Inhale through up to center, and exhale. Take any last movements that call you before you enter Shavasana, your final resting pose, with palms face up about a foot away from the hips, or further if you like, and feet splayed to about mat with distance apart. I invite you here to close your eyes, perhaps draping a sleeve of a sweater or a scarf or even a sock if it's clean over your eyes. This added weight and darkness will help you deeper move into this state of relaxation. As awareness melts out of form, out of the activity of your life and back into the stillness from which it comes, you enter Shiva, I before even I am. You before you are somebody or something. Simply there, free of stories, attachments, beliefs. Both all the expansion that could ever be and the simplicity of a single cell. You're welcome to stay here, and really I invite you to stay here for as long as you like, or around 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes is nice. Otherwise, we will close first just by wiggling the fingers and toes, bringing a little bit of movement and expression back into the stillness. Explore if you can stay still within your mind, within your heart, as you begin to move your wrists and ankles, maybe turning your head side to side, and eventually reaching up overhead and taking a big stretch. Maybe tensing everything and then releasing as you exhale and curling onto one side or another in fetal posture. A fetus is when you had form, you were here in life, in creation, in all the density of a body, but you were still the quietude and the simplicity of nobody and nothing. Absolute freedom and rest and nurture. Perhaps continuing to remain in this rest and nurture, you are still able to move your body as you kicked within your mother's belly, but now you're moving up into a comfortable seat. Maybe bringing palms to heart center for our last Namaskar Mudra of the class. And we close with an Om, the first sound and the silence before, after, and within all sound. Breathe in. Om. 3 Shantis, invocations of peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The stillness and the creative expression within me matches that within you. Namaste.